Hello YouTube, this is Corbin22 here, back with another 100-point squadron build for Star Wars X-Wing miniatures. Tonight, I've chosen to do another Imperial squadron, a 3-ship squadron that consists of a TIE Advance X-1, piloted by Darth Vader, and 2 Sinar Fleet Systems TIE Interceptors, piloted by Roll Guard pilots. The name of the build is called a Lord and His Guard, and it's a synergy build that requires Darth Vader making the first attack, as he will because he's a pilot skill 9, and then of course the Roll Guard pilots will move in and deal either a crippling blow to the enemy or a finishing blow, depending on who they attack. If they're attacking like a larger ship, they'll probably deal like major damage. If a smaller ship, they'll probably outright destroy it. And in order to make full effect of this build, both the Interceptors and the TIE Advance have to get in as close as they can to maximize their attack value. And considering that these ships all have 3 agility, despite the fact that the TIE Advance being a heavier ship, I'd say getting in close is not that risky. I would say. I mean, granted, there is still a chance you're going to get hit, but with the TIE's naturally high agility, I'm not really too concerned about that. But now you know these ships and the purpose. Let's go on to the build itself here. So as you can see, these TIEs have been modified to their maximum ability. The total squadron point comes to 99 points, so that means if you were to use this squad, you would get initiative. And with that said, let's look onto the build itself. We'll start with the squadron leader, who is none other than Darth Vader himself, the Lord of the Sith. He has a pilot skill of 9. He flies the Sinar Fleet Systems TIE Advanced X-1. He has an attack value of 2, an agility value of 3, a hull value of 3, and a shield value of 2. So pretty much similar stats to the X-Wing, as the TIE Advance was made to combat the X-Wing. He can take on the Focus, Lock-On, Barrel Roll, and Evade actions. He costs 29 squadron points, so he costs about as much as Wedge Antilles. And he's able to take on an Elite Pilot skill upgrade and a missile upgrade, as well as a modification in title. His ability states, during your perform action step, you may perform 2 actions. So Darth Vader's natural ability behaves like Push the Limit without the risk of getting stressed. Darth Vader can take a Focus or a Lock-On, a Focus or a Barrel Roll, or Focus or Evade, or Lock-On or Evade, or whatever. Basically, you can take on 2 different actions in the same turn, which again is what Push the Limit allows you to do. The only difference being is that Vader doesn't get stressed by doing so. And to help him out with in the event he does get stressed, I've given him a Twin Ion Engine Mark II. The TIE Advanced, I believe, only has, I think, maybe 5 green maneuvers. I think all of his banks, speed 1s, and his speed head 2 and 3s are banks as well. Or his straight head 2 and 3s are straights as well, or greens as well. But with the Twin Ion Engine Mark II, all of his banks become greens, which is helpful if you want to keep on your opponent's tail while getting rid of the stress in deltons by, say, a K turn or a hard turn or whatever maneuver that the TIE Advanced has. Added to the fact that it only costs 1 point, it's a very cheap but effective upgrade to put on any Imperial ship, namely the Advanced or the Bomber or the Defender or even the Punisher, which again helps get rid of all that stress. For his Elite Pilot skill, I could have gone with Squadron Leader, but instead I chose Deadeye, because, well, again, he's going to be wanting to get close, and the secondary weapon I've given him allows him to attack even at close range. And it's but yeah, Deadeye states that you can treat the attack target lock header as attack focus for a cost of 1. It states you can spend a focus token on an attack that instructs you to discard a target lock instead. So that means with secondaries you can substitute a focus for a target lock. But they have to have the attack target lock header on it. So that means only torpedoes and missiles can only benefit from Deadeye. And then, of course, speaking of missiles, we have the cluster missiles as Darth Vader's secondary weapon. Now, the TIE Advance is meant to be was meant to be outfitted with any assortment missiles, but I'm judging this from the Rogue Squadron game that the TIE Advance was first featured in, which is Rogue Squadron 2. And his TIE Advance had a complement of 20 cluster missiles, so I've decided to go for nostalgia purposes, and because I really like that weapon, I've decided to go with cluster missiles. And even in this game, they're pretty useful. They have an attack value of 3 and can be used at close to mid-range combat. which states attack target lock, spend your target lock, and discard this card and perform this attack twice. So that means with the cluster missiles, you have 2 chances to hit your opponent, and it doesn't matter, and which means like both attacks can hit, or one or the other, or no attacks can hit. The only downside of this is that they're pretty costly. They cost about as much as a concussion missile, and but yeah, I mean, and they cannot be used at range 3, whereas the concussion missiles can. So this is a close to mid-range weapon, but it deals devastating damage if you get the correct rules. So now with Darth Vader out of the way, we move on to his wingmates. They are both upgraded with the same upgrade, so I'll just go over one of them. And we're starting here with a Royal Guard pilot. They have a pilot skill of 6, and they fly the Sinar Fleet System's TIE Interceptor. They also have a very distinguishable red color on them, so that basically means that which again just means that the Emperor's Royal Guard is flying this TIE Interceptor, not just a standard pilot from, say, Alpha or Avenger or even Saber Squadron. The Royal Guard pilots have an attack value of 3, an agility value of 3, hull value of 3, and a shield value of 0. They can take on the Focus, Barrel Roll, Boost, and Evade actions. They cost 22 squadron points, and they can take an Elite Pilot skill upgrade, which is not very common in most common pilots. However, like most common pilots, the Royal Guard TIE does not have a pilot ability. But that said, the Elite Pilot skill kind of makes up for that. Add to the fact that he has an abnormally high pilot skill, for Elite Pilot. Like most times, Elite Pilots have or Elite Common Pilots, I should say, have like maybe pilot skill of like 3 or 4 sometimes 5. But for a regular ship, like say TIE Interceptor, to have a pilot skill of 6, these things, they're also quite cheap too. I mean, only 22 points. So that means you can probably field maybe a few of these in a squadron, along with say some Alpha Squadron or even Academy pilots as well. But I digress. For his title card, I've given these guys title cards, and fitting that I give them the Royal Guard TIE title card. It's meant only for the TIE Interceptor, and it has no squadron points, so that makes this one of my favorite. Makes this a favorite to field for any ship piloting a TIE Interceptor. It states you may equip up to 2 different modifications instead of 1. You cannot equip this card if your pilot skill value is 4 or lower. So that means with the Royal Guard TIE, the TIE Interceptor is able to basically, the Royal Guard TIE is similar to the A-Wing test pilot. The only difference being is that the Royal Guard TIE allows you to equip 2 different modifications, whereas the A-Wing test pilot allows you to equip 2 different Elite Pilot skill upgrades, or Elite Pilot talent upgrades, I should say. The difference being is that the A-Wing test pilot cannot be equipped to prototype pilots because they have a pilot skill of 1. And with the Royal Guard TIE, it cannot be equipped to anyone that is any less than a Saber Squadron pilot. So that means only Saber Squadrons and above can be equipped with this card. The Avenger and Alpha Squadron pilots are not included in this mix, sadly. That's fine. For their first modifications, they both have the same. I've gone with a hull upgrade, which increases his hull value by 1. So that means the Royal Guards now have a hull value of 4, so that allows them to take 1 extra hit. And that 1 extra hit can mean the difference between life and death. And of course, for their second modification, I've gone with a stealth device, which increases their agility value by 1. But however, if they're hit by an attack, then discard this card. So, with hull upgrade and stealth device, the Royal Guard TIEs now have an attack value of 3, a hull value of 4, and now an agility value of 4. So that makes the reward for getting close worth the risk, because stealth device, the interceptors now have agility value of 4, which means they are very, very less likely to get shot at or be able to evade enemy ships that shoot at them. And this applies. It's not really a range bonus thing, so that means if someone's attacking with a secondary at range 3, or at range 1, if someone's attacking with a secondary at range 3, normally you wouldn't get a agility bonus because it's secondary. However, the stealth device kind of works around that because it's increasing the overall agility value by 1. So that means it's very handy against weapons like, say, the heavy laser cannon, which has a natural attack value of 4. However, the downside of this is if you do get hit by an attack, you have to flip the card face down, and your agility value returns to 3. So, but with the stealth device, there's more risk than reward. The reward is worth the risk, I would say. And for their Elite Pilot talents, I've given them each Opportunist, which states when attacking, if the defender does not have any focus or evade tokens, you may receive 1 stress token to roll 1 additional attack die. If you're not using this ability, they have any stress tokens. So for a cost of 4, the Interceptor is allowed to receive a stress, and they gain an extra attack value when they attack. Both the Interceptors have this, and there's a reason, and of course, the reason why I've given them each Opportunist, because Darth Vader himself is going to be making the first shot, either with his clusters or his regular attack. Chances are the enemy's going to be he's going to be using any focuses or evades they have if Darth Vader scores a good roll. When that happens, the Rogue Guards can swoop in, attacking primarily at range 1. They'll get that increase in attack. They'll get that attack bonus, making their attack value 4, and then they can stress themselves out with Opportunist to add that extra attack on them, which means their attack value is now worth 5. A similar tactic can be used with Wedge Antilles, because if you give him, like, say, Opportunist or outmaneuver, then it makes your attacks more likely to hit, because Wedge's natural ability allows him to reduce enemy's agility value. Opportunist increases attack value with stressing, and outmaneuver lets him further increase the enemy's agility value if he's outside their firing arc. So similar tactic employed here with the Rogue Squadron build that I have. The only difference being is that Vader is the one making the attack, and then of course the Comet pilots are finishing up whatever you started. So that's the build for you. I will return in a moment to show you exactly how the build works. Okay, so here we have the scenario set up. It's going to be Darth Vader and his Emperor Royal Guard squaring up against Dash Rider and his Outrider, or Dash Rendar, sorry, and his Outrider. And I'm going to show you exactly how it works. So say for this example, the Royal Guards are going to be making their move. Let's say they're going to do they're going to go straight ahead at a speed of 4. No. Let's say they're going to go ahead at a speed of 2. Like so. And then he's going to boost to get closer to Dash. Like so. And then this guy is going to go ahead 4 instead. Let's get this right. And then I'll just see if I can check for another boost. I think I can make that. Yes, I can. So both these guys are right up in Dash's face. Then Dash is going to make his move. Let's say he does... for this scenario, I've got Dash with his Outrider Tau card and heavy laser cannons. The heavy laser cannons can only be used at range 2 to 3, so getting in close with the ties is absolutely crucial. Let's say for this scenario, Dash performs a hard 1. The Outrider can do that. Like so. And then, for this scenario, he acquires a focus token. So he takes a focus token to help with his defense. And and then Darth Vader's going to make his move. He's going to do a soft 3 to get up in there as well. Like so. And then Vader's going to take a target lock onto Dash Rendar. Now, see how the ties are all pretty much at range 1 of Dash. If I just do a quick check here, yeah, they're all at range 1, which is what you want with the ties. Oh, hang on, this one's at range... I'm going to count that. So he's going to be at a range... This one's going to be at a range 2. It's just barely over the border there. But also notice that Dash is in no position to attack because all the ties, pretty much all the ties are at range 1. Well, this guy's at range 2, so he could probably get a shot off at him. But that's fine. Vader is going to make the first attack here. Vader is going to spend his target lock. And let's say for his second action he took a focus, because Vader can do that. He's Darth Vader after all. So he spends his target lock. He gets his attack die. It'll be a 3 versus 2. Is it a 2? Yeah, Dash has 2 agility. Yeah, he has 2 agility. So yeah, 3 versus 2. So Vader has 2 hits and a focus. He will spend his focus to make that 3 hits. That means guaranteed Dash is going to be taking a hit. Okay, so Dash takes 2 hits to his shield. So we'll just pretend he takes. We'll pretend he's at full health and he's lost 2 shields, so he's now down to 3. And then Vader gets another shot in because of cluster missiles. Now this one has 3 focuses. I could have saved this focus. I could have saved the focus, but I didn't. So that means, well, Dash evades this shot entirely. Then Dash will get his shot in. Let's say closest point to closest. Yeah, that's a range 2. So Dash is going to get a shot at the TIE Interceptor here. So that'll be a 4 versus 4 because the TIE Interceptor has a stealth device, which allows him to increase his agility value by 1. This is a 4 versus 4. So we've got a focus. He'll spend that focus, turn that into a hit. 3 hits. And the TIE suffers 3 hits. Now normally this would kill him. So the TIE is going to suffer 3 hits for this. Now again, this would normally kill him, but the hull upgrade increases a hull value by 1, so he survives this. Albeit he's critically damaged, and of course he loses his stealth device because he took a hit, so his agility is now back down to 3. Now it's the TIE Interceptor's turn to attack. I'm going to have this one attack first because he'll be at range 1. He's going to stress himself out to roll 1 additional attack die. So it'll be 3 attack die for his initial attack, 1 more for the range bonus, 1 more for Opportunist. Dash, however, only has 2 dice, so this shot is going to have a pretty good chance of landing. And look at that, we have 3 hits out of 5. Not bad, not bad. Dash is guaranteed to take at least 1 hit from this. Dash takes 2 more shields, so that means he's down to, I believe he's down to 1 shield. No, yeah, no, he's lost all his shields, has taken a hull damage. Now this Interceptor here is going to take a stress as well to increase his attack. Because he's at range 2, he's not going to get as many attack dice, so he's only going to get 4. But still 4 versus 2, so a pretty good chance. Still got a pretty good chance of at least dealing some damage to him. Like that, we have 2 attack and 2 hits and 2 focuses. So Dash has a chance to evade these shots, and he doesn't. He suffers 1 hit. So now he's down to a 3 hull. He's been heavily damaged by the TIE fighters, by all the TIEs, thanks to their Opportunist and cluster missiles. And now for the next turn, when they make their moves, the TIEs can make a green maneuver to get rid of their stress and rinse and repeat. Darth Vader can still take target locks to help increase his accuracy because, well, he's lost his cluster missiles. Now he doesn't have a munitions failsafe or extra munitions or whatever. So Vader now has to rely on getting up close to him and attacking with his primary weapons, and so on and so forth. But yeah, that's how the build works. It's a synergy, again, like Rogue Squadron, it's a synergy build, so the TIEs have to work together to complete their objective. The hull upgrade and agility, the hull upgrade and the stealth device helps increase the TIE Interceptor's chance for survivability. And of course, with Darth Vader, he has a twin-9 engine Mark II, just in case he needs to perform, like, say, a K-turn, gets stressed, he has more V-maneuvers to help him get rid of the stress while still pursuing the enemy. But yeah, so this is my Lord and his Guard build. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Any constructive criticism is greatly appreciated. If you like, you may use this build for any competitive or casual play, or if you want, you can tweak it or revamp it to your own specifications. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Corpman22, signing off.